Hi everyone and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So in today's video I am going to be showing you a couple of recent pickups that I've been making. These games have come from a raft of different sources, eBay, Amazon, there's a couple of CEX stuff in here as well, and yeah, some new additions to the collection that I am so happy to have. What I'm also hoping to do is to try and do this video in a bit of a different way, where we actually have more gameplay than FaceTime. So yeah, let's dive straight in with the first pickup, and that is going to be Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the Xbox Series X. So released in 2023 by Respawn Entertainment. This game is the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and takes place 5 years after the events of the previous game and continues the adventures of young Jedi Knight Cal as he and his friends continue their struggle to survive the tyranny of the Galactic Empire. Star Wars Jedi Survivor received generally favourable reviews from critics, receiving a Metacritic score of 86 out of 100 on the Series X. Now, I have to admit I haven't played this game. It is one that I've been wanting to pick up for the collection, but I haven't played it yet because I want to actually play through the first one. And I think I've started the game about 2 or 3 times now, and yeah, I end up playing it for a while, then get distracted with other games. So yeah, I think once I finish one of the games that I'm going to actually show later in this video, which I am actually playing through at the moment, I think I'm going to jump onto something like Fallen Order, trying to get that one complete. But yeah, this one, I actually picked this up on a trip to CEX, paid £10 for it out of CEX, and it normally sells for about £14 on eBay. So yeah, nice to have that one. And next up was another pickup that I made from CEX, and that is Fallout Brotherhood of Steel on the original Xbox. Now, I have been wanting to pick up some of the other Fallout games for absolutely ages now. And every time I go into CEX, I've seen this a couple of times. I've seen it on eBay as well. And I've always ummed and ahed about picking it up. But today I was like, it was in there, it was complete. So I was going to just pull the trigger on it. So released in 2004 by Interplay Entertainment. This was the first entry in the Fallout series to be released on home consoles. Set in the year 2208, the player controls an initiate of the Brotherhood of Steel. Critics often compare Fallout Brotherhood of Steel to a hack and slash game due to its emphasis on fast-paced combat and encounters with large groups of enemies. Fallout Brotherhood of Steel does not feature an open-world map like the other Fallout games and is instead linear in design. Brotherhood of Steel received mixed reviews from critics, with a Metacritic score of the Xbox version getting a 66 out of 100. And as I say, this is one that I have been wanting to add to the collection for a while. A lot of people say that it is one of the worst Fallout games ever released, and I have to say, playing through it, I can see what Interplay were trying to do with it. I just think the Fallout fans didn't like it because the gameplay shifts from the mainline games. But equally, I also, from what I've heard, I think that this was a bit of a grab by Interplay to keep hold of the license for a bit longer. But yeah, as I say, this is one that I have been wanting to add in for a while. Finally pulled the trigger on it. Paid £32 for it out of CEX. It normally sells for about £35 on eBay. Alright, so the next one is actually going to be one that I haven't recently picked up, but there was a reason for picking this one up. And that is LHX Attack Chopper on the Mega Drive. So we did recently pick this one up from a boot fair. And the big reason why I ended up buying another copy of it was the copy that we picked up at the boot fair. I didn't realise at the time was the Genesis version. And with this being an EA title, I wanted to get the yellow spine to go in with the other yellow spines that I've got in the collection. So that was the big reason for picking this up. The only issue that I've got with it is there is quite a bit of damage to the plastic of the clear plastic around the case. So I am going to go through, see if I've got any spare EA cases kicking about, and I will get that swapped out. But yeah, as I say, the big reason for picking this up was to replace the Genesis version with a PAL version. So ended up picking this up off eBay for £8 and 9p. It normally sells for about £15. So yeah, really good deal on that one. Then next up, we've got another fix, shall we say, and that is Quake Free Arena on the PC. So this is just the CD and case, because we've actually got the big box downstairs. We recently picked this up in a boot fair pickup, and when I got it, when I was about to get ready to sort of film the video of the pickups, I found out that it actually had the wrong disc inside. It actually had the Quake 2 disc inside. So I wanted to get it complete, so decided to jump on eBay, see if I could get a cheap version of just the CD. So yeah, managed to pick this one up for £7.24, and now that it's complete in the big box, it will sell for about £40 on eBay. So yeah, really happy to have this. I remember playing this when it came out originally on the PC. So yeah, it's a nice bit of PC nostalgia for me. Right, the next pickup we've got is a PS1 game, and that is Resident Evil Director's Cut. I do have to admit, I was a bit gutted when I actually did get it home. So yeah, when I actually got it home, it was in just a normal CD case. And yeah, when I actually had a closer look at it, there was quite a lot of damage, more so to the back cover. So it's actually missing the tab that has the sort of spine art. Yeah, they've basically sort of pulled that off to sort of fit it in a CD case. It also doesn't come with the manual, but it does include the Resident Evil 2 demo disc. So what I will look to do is I will keep my eye out, see if I can get hold of a copy of just the back cover and the manual, just to make it complete. But equally, still nice to have another version of the original Resident Evil. I think the only one that I'm now missing for the full set of 3 is going to be the DualShock version. So yeah, there were actually 3 different variations of Resident Evil on the PS1, each of them having their pros and cons. But yeah, pick this one up for £15. It normally sells for about £25 on both CEX and eBay.
Hey, what's going on?
Jill? Is that you, Jill? What happened?
Barry, help me, please. The door won't open. Quick!
Stay away from the door, Jill. I'm gonna kick this door down.
Hurry! This way!
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
Right, so next up we're going to dive into a whole load of PlayStation games. Now this is all PS4, PS5, and these are all sort of new release titles that I've been wanting to get for a while. The first one is White Day, a labyrinth named school. So this is a 2022 the ROI Games developed survival horror. The game is a remake of a 2001 game of the same name. It's set in South Korea in 2001, and players control Lee Hoon Min, I think is how you pronounce it, a new transfer student as a local high school who sneaks into the institution on after hours to prepare a White Day surprise for his crush, Han So Young. Upon entry, Hun Min becomes trapped and begins to encounter the supernatural. With the assistance of other students, Hun Min travels the building, hiding from foes and using micromanagement to solve puzzles to progress through the school in an attempt to leave the building before dawn. And I have to admit, I think the game looks and plays absolutely amazing. The game is a great mixture of exploration with in-depth puzzles. I'm definitely going to have a look at picking up the sequel that was released in 2023. I think I've already got it in my Amazon basket, so yeah, definitely one that I'm going to pick up going forward. This was an Amazon pickup that I made for $12.99. Looking it up online, it goes for £10 at CEX and £20 on eBay. Then next up, another game that I've actually been holding out to pick this up until the physical come out, and that is Choo Choo Charles. Originally released in 2023, it's recently had the physical release in 2025. And it's developed by Two Star Games, and the player controls the monster hunter activist with the goal of upgrading their train's defences in order to fight and defeat the titular character Charles, an evil spider train-based hybrid that wanders the landscape looking for people to eat. The gameplay consists of travelling across an open world map in a train, performing tasks for non-player characters, collecting loot, and using that loot to upgrade the train in order to fight against Charles, who periodically appears to hunt the player. Now, this is a game, I remember seeing it being announced. I remember seeing people do Let's Plays of this, and yeah, it just looked absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's one that I've been keeping my eye out for, the physical release, for a while now. So yeah, when I saw it come out, I immediately pre-ordered it, and yeah, it come, and yeah, both me and the little one have been playing it, so it's great. Really enjoyed the game, and it's one that I'm going to go back to and explore the world to see more of the map. So originally paid, this was another Amazon pickup, paid £20 and 6p. It goes for £22 at CEX and £30 on eBay. Next up, we've got High on Life on the PS5. So this was a game I've been, I remember seeing it be announced back in 2023. And yeah, I'd been keeping my eye on the physical version, but yeah, it's one that I've been wanting to pick up because it's actually by the developer Squanch Games, and that is basically run by the people that create Rick and Morty. And if I'm pretty sure the voice of the gun is actually by Justin Roiland, I think his name is, who voices the character of Morty in the series. So the game itself takes place in a science fiction world which features talking guns. The player's tasked with assassinating select targets and must fight their way into the target's lair and then fight targets to a boss battle. In addition to combat, players encounter traversal and platforming sections, as well as puzzles. High on Life received mixed to average reviews by critics, with generally favourable reviews by users. And yeah, as I say, because it was created by the Rick and Morty team, it really made me interested. And I have to say, I have loved playing it. I've played it up to a certain point, got stuck, but it is one that I am going to go back to progress through the game. Recently, they have announced the sequel to this. And yeah, I was a bit gutted that I'd actually missed the limited run release. But the night before filming this video, I actually checked on Amazon, and the PAL physical release is actually coming at the beginning of Feb 2026. So I've placed a pre-order for that. So I will be getting the second game in the series now. At first I thought that I'd missed out on the physical version, but yeah, to see that I was actually able to get it off Amazon was absolutely brilliant. Right, and now the next two games are actually very topical for me because they are both Five Nights at Freddy's release, and immediately after filming this, I'm actually heading out to the cinema to see the second film. Me and the little one have got opening night tickets to see it. So yeah, we're both looking forward to that. So the first game that we've got is Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. So originally released in 2024 with a physical release in 2025. Developed by Mad Cat Studios. The game is an indie action-adventure horror adaptation of the Fazbear Fright story of the same name. You play Oswald, who wishes his town and his life weren't so boring. All the characters, when he explores the ball pit in a rundown pizzeria, finds himself in the past. The game received positive reviews, landing a Metacritic score of 87 out of 100. And I have to admit, this is by far one of the best FNAF games that I have ever played. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, this has moved easily into my #1 spot for FNAF. Before this, it was... is it Most Wanted? No, not Most Wanted. What's the name of it? The one in the big open world one that we've done. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put a picture up on the screen. But yeah, I love the art style and I love the story. And it's definitely going to be one that I sort of going to play through as much as I can. So once again, that was an Amazon pickup. Paid $19.99 for it. Goes for £25 on CEX and £26 on eBay. Then the other FNAF game that we picked up was Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. And I'll be honest, the main reason I picked this up was the little one had been wanting me to pick it up for a while. They've actually played the first one. I think I got that for them on the PS4. So yeah, when they saw the Help Wanted 2 was coming out, we were going to grab it. But as I say, initially, it only came out as a digital, so released digitally in 2023. And it's actually 2024 that it got the physical release, but I've only just noticed it. The other thing with this as well is it's only compatible with the VR2, so it won't work with the VR, unlike the first one. But yeah, it's an interesting one. So Help Wanted 2 is a sequel to Help Wanted that was brought to new life to the iconic horror franchise. As a brand new Fazbear employee, you have to prove that you have what it takes to excel in all aspects of pizzeria management and maintenance. You will head into the Fazcade and enjoy classic games like Bonk a Bong and Fazblaster. And yeah, I will have to admit, I wasn't a massive fan of this game. Even capturing the footage for it, yeah, I just couldn't get into it. It's essentially a whole load of mini games, and yeah, I'm not a fan of those sort of mini game based games. But as I say, it was another one that I needed to get to carry on with the FNAF games. I think at this stage I'm only missing one now, and that is the sort of what is it? It's like the multi-game release with like FNAF 1, 2, 3. I think we've got it on the Switch, but I don't have it on the PlayStation. So I think that was originally released on the PS4. So that's one that I'm going to look to pick up. So for Help Wanted 2, I paid £21.15 from Amazon. It sells for £15 at CEX and £25 on eBay. Right, so next up we have got a Japanese PS4 game, and that is Kandagawa Jet Girls DX Jetpack Limited Edition. So released in 2020 by Honey Parade Games. And this was a game that I've been wanting to pick up for absolutely ages. I'd seen footage of the game, but yeah, every time I went to pick it up, it was just a bit more than I wanted to pay. But this time I actually managed to get the sort of limited edition pack, and I got it for a really good price. So that was why I grabbed it. This is based on the anime of the same name, and a player controls both the jetter and the shooter and switches between controlling them. When a player switches to controlling the jetter, they can use boost and drift, and when they switch to controlling the shooter, they can use items scattered throughout the circuit they obtained to attack other opponents within the track. The game received mixed reviews with a Metacritic score of 60 out of 100. And as I say, I've been going for this one for a while, but the only issue I've got is that it is completely in Japanese. So I think what I am going to do, I am going to look to try and pick up. There was a US release of this as well. And I will be honest, just before coming on and filming this video, I was looking at a listing online. So yeah, I may pick that up. I may have picked that up by the time you see this video, but it will be in a future pickups video if I do manage to get it. But I will admit, graphically, the game looks absolutely brilliant. The music in the game is great. I mean, the only reason I want to pick up the US edition is so that I can actually follow the story behind it. So I actually picked this up for £44.70 off eBay. And looking it up online, it normally sells for about £65. That is the Japanese version on eBay. And I have to admit, it is in absolutely pristine condition. It's complete. It's got all the bits inside. So yeah, really happy to have this. And yeah, definitely one that I'm going to be putting in a bit more time, hopefully with the American version. All right. So next up, we've got another PS4 game. And this was a game, once again, that the little one wanted me to pick up. And I just happened to, actually this game and the next game were both ones that I actually ordered off CEX online. So I had them shipped to me. And that is the Untitled Goose Game. So released in 2019 by House. This, the player controls a goose who bothers the inhabitants of an English village. The player must use the goose's abilities to manipulate objects and non-player characters to complete objectives. The game was developed by a 4-person indie studio based in Melbourne, Australia. The game received generally favourable reviews according to Metacritic, receiving a score of 80 out of 100. And yeah, before playing the game for this video, I'd heard about it, but never actually seen any gameplay for it. And yeah, it was a very, very interesting game to play. I got really taken into this when I was playing it. I just had to keep going until I checked every item off of my to-do list. And yeah, it was one of those games that is going to easily turn into a bit of a time sponge. So yeah, really happy to have this. Definitely one that I'm going to be putting some more time into. So paid £14.95 off CEX. Obviously that does include £2.95 shipping. So the game is normally listed at £12 on CEX and sells for about £15 on eBay. And then the other game that I picked up from CEX, this was one that I've been desperate to try and get this particular version for absolutely ages now. And that is for Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition. Now, oh, my phone's going off. Now, the big reason that I wanted the Complete Edition was because it actually includes the DLC on the disc. So we've got the Complete Edition of the first Horizon game on the PS4, and that was actually the version that I played through and completed. But when I actually picked this up, I hadn't actually completed that game yet. I got to a point and I just got stuck. And then, yeah, it'd probably been about sort of 4 or 5 months. I went back to it, started from that point because I was probably about 10 or 12 hours into it at that point. So I didn't want to restart it again. So managed to sort of get back in, managed to beat the boss that I was stuck on. And then, yeah, from there, I hammered the game out in about a week. I think it was about 24, 25 hours I put into it to complete. And yeah, as soon as I completed that, the very next night, I then started on Forbidden West. And yeah, absolutely loved it. I will admit there's a couple of elements in this that that are a bit of a change from the first one. And I think had I had a bit of a gap between sort of completing the first one and jumping into the second, they wouldn't have been as daunting. But yeah, the fact that I've now got this, I know this is the game I am absolutely stuck on this at the moment. I am sort of whenever I get a time at the moment, when I'm not capturing footage for the channel, this is the game that goes in, and this is the one that I'm playing through at the moment. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to sort of carry on, get this wrapped up, because yeah, I am absolutely in love with these games. So this one I actually paid £67.95 off CEX. Its list price is £65 on the CEX website, and it normally sells for about £70 on eBay. But yeah, this was one I've been looking at it all over the shop, on the Sony store, CEX, eBay, and yeah, I was just constantly looking out for it, because it was one that I've been wanting for a while. And yeah, as I say, the fact that as soon as I picked it up, then managed to go through, complete the first game, and then jump into this one. So yeah, really, really glad to have this, and this is definitely the top game that I'm going through at the moment. Okay, so we've got one last pickup today, and it isn't actually a game, but it is something that is actually going to take a big pride of place in the games room for me. This is a real nostalgia kick for me, and it's something that I've been toying about with getting for absolutely ages now. But I was looking on eBay, I saw it for such an amazing price that I just decided to grab it. And that is an original PlayStation Blockbuster hard shell rental case. So yeah, back in the day when the PS1 first came out, you could actually hire the console from Blockbuster along with the games, and yeah, you would hire it for a weekend. You would take it home in one of these cases, and it's actually still got the original Blockbuster stickers on it as well. I'd seen a couple that didn't have the Blockbuster stickers on, and some that didn't even have the PlayStation sticker on. So yeah, for these stickers to all be on, it was a no-brainer for me. And yeah, what I'm actually trying to do is I'm actually trying to recreate the original bundle that my cousin rented. So I'll put this down for a minute. So my first experience with the original PlayStation was I was actually staying at my nan's over, I think it was the summer holidays, and my cousin lived at my nan's house, and he actually took me to Blockbuster. We ended up hiring the PS1, and we hired it with Alien Trilogy and Destruction Derby, and still to this day I remember exactly what games I had. And yeah, I literally spent, I can't remember if it was a weekend or 5 days or how long we had it hired for, but I just had that controller glued to my hands for the entire time. Absolutely loved playing it. I will admit, after getting this, it's really caused me a lot of problems now, because I want to rebuild that original bundle that we rented from Blockbuster. So I want to get hold of the original rental copies of both Alien Trilogy and Destruction Derby. And from what I've seen, they're just not out there. I am keeping my eye on eBay, but yeah, those are the two games that I really want. They're just not out there. So I am going to keep my eye out, and I will continue looking. So hopefully at some point in the future, I will be able to add those two games to the collection and actually have a mini shrine to my first experience with the PS1. So the actual bundle that I got off eBay, it did include a console. Let me just double check, so I can't actually remember what was in here. Yeah, so it is just the console. So I'm hoping you can, oh, there we go. So yeah, it is just the console. This is the Mark II console. So what I am going to do is I'm actually going to put my Mark I in here, which has the AV ports on the back. And the only other issue with it is that it is missing a couple of bits of foam, but I should be able to get replacements for those. And as I say, for me, it was just being able to, I've got all the bits that I need to actually complete this. So the controllers, the cables, the console itself. So yeah, this will be a complete rental version of the original PlayStation. And yeah, for me, as soon as I saw it, and when I saw it for this price, because the price was dramatically lower than I'd ever seen before, that was the big reason for jumping in and picking it up. So I ended up getting it off eBay for $69.73. Now, normally these rental cases go for silly money. I've seen them selling sort of upwards sort of £200-300. So yeah, to get it for under £70 was absolutely amazing. And yeah, as I say, this is going to take a big pride of place in my games room. So with that said, that is all of the pickups for today's video. And yeah, I am absolutely over the moon with a lot of the pickups that we've got. We've got some absolutely amazing games for the collection. So yeah, keep your eye out. I'm definitely going to be playing through these. And I may even start putting out some more gameplay videos as well. But with that said, that is going to wrap up today's video. But before you head off, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to be kept up to date when I upload new videos. And also, if you're watching on mobile, don't forget to smash that hype button to help us promote the video in the algorithm. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.